to the cinema, B-dubs area, and so on. I didn't say much about our group, but I just want to kind of remind everybody who's behind this. So the Daniel Boone Rails to Trails is a group of volunteers like me who don't have any expertise in trail building at all. And so we just think this would be a tremendous addition to our community, and something that enhances wellness and recreation and transportation. And so there's been a group working on this off and on for more than 20 years. And because we don't have expertise, we depend on the kindness of volunteers. And so we've had a lot of help from the city. Joe Parsons has been great. I'm sure Joe's pushing 250 emails from me. Joyce has been really helpful this week. Last week we were working on these agreements. I'm sure Joyce is pushing 60, 70 emails from me now. What we're trying to do is raise the funds to create something that we can essentially give to the city that becomes part of the city. So there's a long process here, and we don't have a detailed plan for every piece of this yet because it requires the cooperation of land that's owned by the city, by the state, by private people. So everything we do has to be acceptable to all those parties. So the next stage in this process is to get agreement from the private landowners to let us pass through their property, and that's what you got a draft of. And that thing was based on a document created by the state that was modified in conjunction with the private property owners that we're working with. We've got sort of verbal agreements to sign these things. We're going to get the detailed descriptions of the property together. We just need to have the council authorize the mayor to sign on behalf of the city. And these agreements, as you saw, have ways for the property owners to nullify the agreement, ways for the city to nullify the agreement. They're wide open that way, and that's something the property owners wanted. They didn't want to be locked into eternal access because they have to think about all future uses of their property. What I want to assure you is that for each step in this process, as we try to plan something, we will consult the city and the private owners and the state, to make sure we get everything just the way everybody would like it, because otherwise the whole thing could fall apart. We recognize that. If one owner says, I don't like this, then it's kind of game over. So we're not asking you to give us a blank check right now to make a trail. We're just asking for you to help us take the next step, which is secure agreements with the private landowners so that we could, in the future, develop a trail in that place. So that's what we're asking for, is for you to authorize the mayor to sign those agreements. I don't know, Joyce, do you want to add anything about the history?
We just made 2 changes to the agreement. One is that there can be no limits put on it.
No more.
Liens. And also the grantor, the property owner, would have prior approval to any changes.
For any changes on the property, yeah. So one was suggested by one party, one was suggested by another party, and so we put those things in there as well to give them those explicit rights. So there are lots of questions that remain about the trail, particular questions, but we're not ready to answer those. We're not at that point yet. What I'm asking you to do is to authorize us just to get these agreements that would give the city permission to put something there, not telling you what's going to be put exactly there, because that's a later question that we bring back to you, because we don't have the authority to do anything. We're just trying to make something happen here.
Have you got a number of properties that you're talking about?
Right along here. This is the state property. There's a private person here, mostly state property. You get over to the oil change business, there's private property there. All the way to Fazoli's, private property there, and the cinema, another private property owner. But there's also some access next to the creek, places where you pass close enough to the creek that we don't need permission to do that, but we're just making sure we get everybody on board.
Have you talked to any of these property owners yet?
Yes, we've talked to the two key ones who have verbally agreed to give us access. And those are the two that we've been back and forth with the drafts of the document. One of those is taking the document to the third key property owner to see if it's acceptable for that person. But we think we've kind of ironed out all the kinks in it.
So we're not necessarily approving this document, but just approving the mayor to
You're
sign
approving the
it.
mayor to sign. When he brings in an agreement saying, look, we've got this property owner to agree, the mayor can go ahead and sign this agreement.
So it doesn't commit the city to do anything.
Right.
It just gives us permission.
No, I just wondered if the document itself could still be changed, if it needed to be.
If it needed
if either party needed.
And you can just approve the mayor to sign recreational use
That's what I was,
agreements.
that's what I was getting at.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Second.
Any discussion?
Call the question.
Question's been called, please call roll.
Atkins,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Franzini,
Yes.
Osley,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Seeger.
Yes.
Ta-da.
Thank you, we will stay in touch at every step.
We appreciate you working so well with us, and one thing about Scott is he makes sure you have all the detail, and that's good. He's very good to work with, we appreciate that.
Thank you for your support.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Any other public comments? Okay,
Are you speaking just from general?
general.
Okay, I want some.
Yeah, those are the ones we had scheduled, quote unquote, so,
Here I am, same old song and dance.
all right.
All right, I'm still concerned about the flooding,
Mhm,
and I know you all have been working on it.
mhm,
But of course, I wanted it done years ago,
Of course.
or today or tomorrow. And whenever you come out in the paper mentioning your top priorities for the year, flooding wasn't on that top priority in the newspaper, and that upset me. And I tried to call you and I couldn't get a hold of you, because at the time you were mad at me.
That's
But
right.
that's all right.
Mhm,
We can be mad at each other, but we can still love each other.
That's right.
Okay. So I feel like the committee that you all hired to see where the flooding was coming from and what could be done for the flooding. Okay, I kind of feel like it was a pacifier to us. We all know that there's too much building going on, there's not enough drainage. And if we put more drainage in, and we clean out the drainage that we already have, the problem is still the same. We have a creek that is full of debris that needs to be cleaned out, regardless, okay? Because if you put in more drainage and clean out what drainage we have, it's gonna back up that much quicker because it's not gonna flow. Just like a bathtub, you fill it up and your stopper, isn't big enough to put the water out, it's gonna take it a whole lot longer to drain. Okay, and then, it really upset me whenever I heard that you all were looking at at Brown County High School's old football field for the fire station. For number one, that is a low spot. There's a creek there. There's no drainage. There's no traffic flow. That is a terrible spot, and it's taking up something that you said we're doing. You are just peeing in the wind, letting it hit you in the face, because what's that gonna cause? More problems. When I know you got guidelines to go by and you got rules, but that property, some of the property around there is for sale. There's already blacktop there, there's already ground took up, there's already road access. You could, make that easier for the fire trucks to get in and out.
What property are you talking about?
I'm talking about like Guinea Northcutt's property, trying to buy some of the other property around it. There's plenty of property there that could probably be bought, okay? So it's done good there for years. And I want the fire station to have things, I want the ambulance service to have things. But I also know that if my roof's leaking, I fix it. Because the stitch in time saves 9. And if I don't have the money, I have to go borrow the money to make do to patch it. And we don't believe in patching around here.
Well,
We don't upkeep, we just tear down and buy new.
No.
Or condemn it and then somebody else puts in new.
We've got a police station that is a 1934 post office that is crumbling. And in order to fix it, it would cost upwards of $1 million to fix it. To fix,
Okay, if you'd have fixed it along and along and along and along.
this is 2016, I can only do what this is now. I had nothing to do with before. I'm
I
trying
know,
to
but
do
I'm
the
just
same thing
saying,
again.
a stitch in time saves 9, okay? I don't wanna argue the fact what's been done, what needs to be done. We should've kept it up, okay?
Can't change that now, we can do is
Nope,
fix it.
that's just like the creek, it should've been kept up. It's too late, so what we gonna do?
Well,
The only thing we can do is we can't tear it down, but we can clean down. And if there's a will, there's a way.
You can't just clean it out.
Yes, if there's a will, there's a way. It may take longer, but if there's a will, there's a way.
There's also laws
Okay.
that prevent you from cleaning it out, trust me. I've met with the Corps of Engineers, I've met with FEMA, we've met with forestry. Who else met with, Joe?
Bunch of others.
We've met with the Division of Water, we've met with every single, Beth, you've met with
And
me?
Tammy, let me, honestly, here, and you, I know you all had your differences, but we really have, Joe
But you
and
could
I.
get loggers to come in here, you could pull out those big things without them
No,
getting
we
in the
can't,
creek.
we
We
cannot.
can't.
We have looked, that's
Corps
one
of
of the first
Engineers won't
things,
allow us.
that's one of the first things I thought, cut some of them
Well,
trees,
look on
get
them
it down.
TV shows, look what them loggers do.
But you
That's,
can't,
that's not
Well,
even
that's
done.
beside the point. If there's a will, there's a way, because I know somebody that cleaned out 200 foot of creek. You know what my explanation to everybody is? If you got a dozer or a tractor, get in there. If you get caught running like hay and swear it down and
Well,
stop
you
it.
know,
let me do this, let
You gotta
me
do what you
address
gotta
this,
do.
Jim
if
Tom.
they give us a $10 million fine for do that, then we're shocked,
Okay,
or $1 million fine.
and
Sammy,
let me
wait,
finish,
wait,
let me
Let
listen.
me get to a point here,
I don't wanna
though.
get mad, baby.
I know, you listen, you get to a point, but let's address it as we go, because you know how I am. You
Like
know,
me.
yeah, you know how I am. But as we go along, and I thought the same thing, because, I mean, you know, there's times I feel like an idiot, because I don't know the answer, but I wanna find it out, because if others ask the question, I wanna be able to explain it. I thought the same thing. You've got these trees and these things in the middle, and then they cause the water to expand and the sides to erode, and it makes it worse. You're right, our pipes, I'll say it, I think they're too small, and we have expanded, you know, and built on, and those pipes can't hold it. And April, I think April's
Is April here?
No.
April can
course
explain,
not.
you know, that our pipes won't hold now, what they used to 40 years ago, because we have continued to grow. But I wish we could go into the creek, I wish we could take a big old backhoe and make it bigger, but we
If
can't,
there was a simple
Okay.
fix, it would have been done.
yeah.
Since you're all talking about April Hike,
Hey.
you know, she called me and told me I was an idiot and hung up on me.
Well, that's not.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but she was the one who went down there and cleaned out all that dirt, built all them holes, and cost you all $5,000 to buy my property because she didn't know where her boundaries was. Now, I'm smart enough to know it. Before I start building something, I gotta know where my guidelines are.
Yeah.
And make sure I don't get on people's property. So I guess I am an idiot, cause I know how to do that. But I tried to call the president of the university to give him my complaint. They put me off on somebody else. I tried to get him again and again. And I wasn't trying to get a hold of Obama, just the little president of the Morehead State University, and he never did call me back. And yet we cater to them and they won't even answer somebody a personal phone call because they're too important.
Well, I can assure you that since April, since Good Friday last year, Joe and I have done nothing. We talk about, we have been working, and we not turned over, right, every stone we know to turn over.
We have.
And we've got a
Well, when we
plan.
was talking about getting people to come in and move some dirt, they said we couldn't do that because then they wouldn't know where the dirt went, and what if it went in another, flood zone or floodplain? And, so, we had it fixed up, we had some groups that was gonna come in, and we was gonna fix petitions and sign where they're taking it, and if they took it to the wrong place, they'd be, you know, charged for the removal of that and pay a fine. Well, I called April up, and she couldn't even tell me where it went. She knew where the majority of it went. I told her, no, I wanted to know where it all went, because it was her duty to know. She didn't even know.
Well, as far as the flooding and as far as the firehouse, we'll put it where the best place is for the community and the best place we have for what we can afford. And trust me, we're not gonna put a firehouse or a police station anywhere that's gonna make the flooding worse. I
Well-
promise you that. Joe?
Then Rodney Fugit, my buddy over there, love him dearly, known him for years. He buys the Toll Boys place down there that's been flooded twice. They sold it. I don't blame them. I don't blame Rodney for filling in. You told me when I called you with the complaint that he was filling in to be mad at the Pope Boys for selling it to Rodney. I'm not mad at the Pope Boys. I'm not mad at Rodney for filling it in because he's got to do what he's going to do. I'm very upset with me because I didn't read it in the paper when it was run. My dad would have been on his toes. But my dad died trying to get something done to the creek.
Well,
I almost surrendered until the next time it floods.
Well,
But-
the planning commission meets the first Wednesday of every month, and that's when those type of things, how many times you come to the planning commission, Rodney, to get that done?
I said it's my fault, because I didn't know, and I'm not mad at Rodney, I called him out and I told him, I said, Rodney, I am so proud that you cleaned out that creek, but I am so pissed that you are filling in. So, then, I called Joe, and he told me that I could get a petition to stop any fill-in West Morehead, from 519 to B-dubs. Well, at first I was like, all right, let's go for this. Ain't gonna get no more fill-in. Well, you know, April took out all that dirt. That dirt is now somewhere around in here. Plus they filled in around Brady Curve, where they'd already filled in for that state building and the church. That's already backing up to West Morehead. So I know that where they filled in for that other places for office buildings to be rented, that's gonna back up to West Morehead. I don't know which direction that Rodney's is gonna go in. So I talked to a bunch of them at West Morehead, and we feel like maybe we need to fill in and push it on up to the city. Just keep backing it up and backing it up.
Yeah, that'll solve the problem.
Yeah, it'd help us. Make it worse on you all. But I mean, what's the difference? And what I can't understand is you all are paying a committee
Well,
to go around and, aren't you paying somebody to go around
we have
and
a
tell us?
study, we have a study, yes.
Yeah, where it is. Well, we all know where it's at. You don't have to have a degree to tell where it's at. We've all seen it, we've all been there. I've had Walter Blevins, that he went and looked, not with me and my dad, but, we've all been around, we see where it's at. But nobody's done anything about it. So, it looks to me like our judge and our mayor could get together, go to Frankfurt, tell Bobby Wells, or whatever that Wells guy's name is down there that gives out permits, to stop filling until we see where we're at and what we're doing. Because, again, we're peeing in the wind.
Well, I appreciate your concerns, and I guarantee you we're working on it all the time.
But, you know, can you see how frustrated we are?
I understand.
Okay. And, I ain't done yet.
Well, we're gonna have to move on. I mean, that's.
Well, no, I'm not done complaining. Okay. And the next time it floods, I would like to invite each and every one of you down to help clean. And then you can get dirty and you can get nasty contaminated water, and then you can see what people lose and you can help clean up. And then maybe it'll make you a little more sympathetic for the people that do. So that's all I have to say on this matter, because, you know, I'm proud of our small town, but it's just sad to think that we don't keep up some things and don't take care of them, and now our kids are even with us. And that's sad, that our children, we've got a humongous hospital, we've got a humongous university, and our kids don't even have a pool to swim in because nobody kept filling it in after the creek kept washing it out. Things kept, the creek washing it out and washing it out and washing it out, and now the pool's gone. Who hurt? The kids. And then, on a lighter note, down there, as you pull into Save a Lot grocery store, as you pull into Nancy Ryan, and as you pull into the post office, at night, you cannot tell where you're at or where you're going. And if it's raining, you are totally out of luck. You need some kind of markings so that people can see where they're pulling in at. It's already like a caught gun down there.
You mean like more striping or whatever?
More striping
Okay.
or more light reflectors. And then, you know, Barb Keaton can't come talk for herself. She wants to know why you run a street sweeper without water in it, because all that does is cause desert storm.
Tim, you wanna answer that?
Well, the other street sweeper we got rid of was junk, and we got a new one now.
Does it got water?
Yeah, it's supposed to use water.
Yeah, the one
Well,
before was just a dirt relocator. The one we have now is actually a sweeper, so make sure you stop at Barb's house next time, let her come out and see the
It
new
was
one.
99.
Let her drive it, for heaven's sakes.
Dust.
Listen, Tammy, thank you.
But you know, the next time, Everybody's gonna be in here when it floods, complaining again. And why can't you go to Frankfurt and have them stop giving out permits to fill in dirt? Or can you?
I don't know, we'll look at that. I don't know. I do know that our maintenance fellows, along with Holly's group with, Utility Plant Board, I know they've gone and done a lot of, regular maintenance since, Good Friday of last year, and we've had a lot of rain since then. And for example, Oxley Branch, we went and took out 50 tandem loads, am I right, Tim? Oxley Branch?
I don't know exactly how much.
But it was around that, but, behind Moorhead Tire and Auto, and that was what backs up so much down there around Rodney Fouch's, down around Wendy's, and we've not had anything close to that, so I think, you know, there's a list of about 30 things you have to do to keep it from flooding. I wish it was one simple fix. Beth and I have talked to everybody in Frankfurt, everybody in the state, everybody in the federal government to deal with it, trust me, we know.
All right,
But it takes a long time.
I heard that you can clean 200 feet a day. If you can clean 200 feet a day, why can't you go into like the S parts and the worst?
I don't think that's the case.
parts?
Well, that's not, Tam, that's not the initial case. It's the size of the pipes that are down there. And we don't know exactly the size of all the pipes.
That's what part of the
within
study
city.
is.
That company that you heard about, is doing it in I believe it is a 3-phase
We
process.
met with them today.
Yeah, they would, we don't know our pipes that are underground. They are not completely mapped. And what they would be doing is coming in and locating our main pipes to tell us the size. And once that study is done, then it would be up to the city then, over a period of time as we can afford it. But that is a priority, is to increase the size of those pipes to then take care of the water flow. Because you know as I do, if you don't have the stopper that allows the water to run through,
Yeah,
you
but
don't
what
have a
I'm
big enough
saying
pipe.
is, it don't matter how fast it flows, it's still gonna back up if it ain't got a place to go.
Well, that is the reason for the increase in the size of the pipes and knowing, because if you
So
have a
whenever
big.
it goes in the creek, and the creek ain't been cleaned out, it's
Well,
just gonna
that's
raise
part
that
of-
much quicker.
That's part of the phases as it's done, as to tell us as a city what size pipe we need, how it is channeled right now. But until we can figure out how those pipes are and how it is channeled as a city, we don't know, we don't know how it is channeled and what size pipe we need and where it is run and from where, and that's what we're working on.
This is the last thing I want to say, we're going to have to move on, and this will answer your question about clean out. It was actually cleaned out, or dredged, as they say, in 1971. The city and the county have tried since then with no avail. That's 45 years. That's the last time, and you just can't clean it out anymore like you did in 1971. It sounds simple, it is not, and I'll ask the
I know
the
it's not
county attorney
simple.
over there, am I right, Mr. County Attorney?
I'm a citizen.
Oh, that's, yeah, that's a cop out. But anyway, thank you, Tammy.
I'm just saying, if there's a bill, there's a
And
way.
there is a will, it just takes longer than you think. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. All right, any other, come on.
Just a few minutes. Very few minutes, okay?
Did you call us peanuts?
That's right, this is called, job security. Come on up.
Yeah. I'm gonna just pass these out to council members so you can see what we've been doing. Jim Tom, I'll give you.
So, no, we've already.
No, this is about the
different.
movie night. Yeah, this is about the movie night,
Yes, I made that already, yeah, Bill.
and you can share
Go ahead,
it.
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead and give that to Bill, and then, yeah.
Okay, my name's Mary Hargis. I'm with the Round County Rights Coalition. I'm just coming forward just to let you know what we're doing. What I've passed around to the council members is, and you'll see them around town, it's just that we are providing open caption movies for the hard of hearing and deaf in Round County, so they can experience a movie. It's some of these things that people lose sight of. We are privileged enough to go to a movie and be able to hear a movie. So we are actually doing these type of actions and trying to pick up in areas where people that maybe feel a little disenfranchised in the area. So also we're coming up on we're going to have a Moorhead Pride. And that's going to be, and we've done this, we've done our homework with Lexington Pride. Louisville Pride also does one once a year. We proclaimed Morehead Pride last August when we were protesting at the courthouse. So I'm coming to talk to the mayor, and we are going to rent the city park. It's all gonna be done, it's gonna be family oriented, there's not gonna be a drag show. And it's all gonna be done in a tasteful manner, but it's also a manner of pride and community involvement that has often gone by the wayside for a lot of people in our area. Morehead has a large gay population. We consider ourselves progressive. We consider the university progressive in our understanding of culture. So this is part of the culture that has been present in Morehead for a long time, but has never really been talked about in the open that much. And that became an issue. So we want to continue that. We want to feel like there's a place in the community for everyone. So it will be August the 27th, it'll be in the city park, and everybody can come out and enjoy the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great idea about the movies.
Oh, thank you. Oh, and we're also gonna be
Has that already
participating in the Build a Bed
This is
Which
already
is-
started.
Which is
this Saturday.
Saturday at the other side of, help me, the
The Peddler's
Peddler's Mall.
Build a
Open
bed,
side.
build a bed.
Build a Bed, they're actually
From-
building 170 beds this year, and it's for children that don't have beds. Another thing that people kind of,
Take for
take for granted.
This Saturday?
This
At
Saturday.
what time?
They start an orientation at 8:30 and start building at 9.
9 to 4.
Yeah, Vicki Cooper's in charge of it up at MSU.
And also Melissa Patrick.
And Melissa Patrick, yeah. So it's really, it's an amazing project. They asked for 5 to 8 volunteers from each group. So we're gonna be participating in that as well on Saturday. So there's a lot out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
I got one more thing.
go ahead.
On the flooding, is it better, well, I'm Rodney Fugit, and I'm on West Morehead, piece of property, but is it better for the community to get onto the state to clean, because the 30-inch tiles that are in West Morehead are half full, that go into the bypass?
We've addressed that with Mr. Bryant.
Okay,
He's
I didn't
been,
know if-
he's been to 2 of our meetings, and they are well aware of that.
okay.
And that's gonna have to be theirs, and maybe some of the painting even too, Tammy, since it all depends, and we're working with Bart Bryant on that.
Okay.
District 9 engineer, and I talked to him last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you all
He's
needed
been-
support from the community on that. or
No,
not.
he's working with us.
Yeah.
Fantastic guy.
Only yeah, so it just takes some more time than people think, and more time than we wish, so. Any other comments? It's open mic night here at the city council. Anybody else?
Joe, bring in the karaoke.
That's right. All right, if hearing none, we'll move on to the 7 quarterly reports. First, Chamber of Commerce. Come on now. This is Julie Stevens with Chamber of Commerce in St. Clair.